And I think that Susan Dunn wants to do a short introduction.
Hi, welcome to the Silicon Valley Health Institute. We have monthly meetings online on Zoom, so you have contact to experts and can ask your questions. If you want to be on our email list, put it in a chat. Or if you want to get a copy of this, email me or put it in the chat, and Meir will have a copy and he'll probably put it up pretty quickly. And hello, Barcelona. So I'll put my email address in the chat and over to Meir. Well, if Meir's not here, anybody have any? Oh, here he comes.
No, you can continue.
No, I'm done. I was just going to fill the void with
You're Susan Dunn, so yeah. Anyway. So first of all, thank you very much, Susan. Thank you, Kyle, and thank everybody who is participating in this meeting. I want to just tell you a few things myself. I was born, and by the way, Kyle, I found the pictures. Oh, great. I was born with cataracts, which is one of the most unusual situations because very few infants are ever born with cataracts. Cataracts is very known to people in the 60s and 70s, and that is an opacity of the lens. But infants, only 1 out of 20,000 are born with cataracts. It happens to be my parents were also deaf. And in my generation, basically almost anyone who was born with cataracts became either completely or legally blind. Which means, what is a legally blind person? Somebody that you can give him all the glasses that you want, but he won't really be able to see the chart on the wall. He won't be able to see what's written. He wouldn't be able to read. He wouldn't be able to drive. So I was basically the quickest Braille reader in the state of Israel. After 5 surgeries, one of them done by a very famous surgeon in Israel. And my lens ever since then looked like a glass you would step on. So I'll give you a picture of this. This is a normal lens. Can everybody see that? Yeah. Can everybody hear me well, too? Just need to know if there's any protest about that. This is my lens. And with this, I'm driving these days. So I want to tell you a few things that I did. I did eye exercises. I want to give a big credit to the person who brought them to the world, although he wasn't the first who talked about eye exercises. Tibetan yogis have done that for generation upon generation, but unfortunately, it wasn't known. And ophthalmology made a decision that none of us can improve our vision, basically. They can take away obstruction to good vision. Let's say if he has cataract, they will remove it. In my case, they just try to operate parts of my lenses that had the thickest cataract. The rest became scar tissue, so it wasn't successful in my case. But basically what they do is they remove obstructions. If you have high pressure, they will give you drops to reduce your pressure, assuming that that can destroy the optic nerve. But what happens is they don't believe in getting the eyes stronger. It's interesting. People believe you can make your legs stronger at any age. People believe you can improve your circulation. But people don't believe that you can improve your vision and your hearing. That's a very big problem. And so it is very important for me to announce to all of you, vision can improve. I'm so happy that my book, Vision for Life, which is in right now 20 different languages, is still in the market. It's not a bestseller like a New York Times bestseller, but you can definitely say it's in circulation. It's a best-selling book, and it's true already for the last 6 years or so. I mean, it had a second printing. My book, Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing, is a selling book, and Movement for Self-Healing is still around. We have also wonderful programs for natural vision improvement. You can buy 5 programs, and it's on the body and on the eyes altogether. And I want to regress right now and talk about the body. Blood flow is very silent. You have no idea seeing me if in the middle of my lecture, I will fall from my chair with a heart attack, which happened to some people who didn't expect that to happen. And you do not know if I will, in 50 years, even though I'm close to 70, with God's will still give you a lecture on Zoom. You have no idea. And the difference is my blood flow. If my blood flows well, it helps my brain faculties. I mean, many people are basically guilty of ageism, and they assume that somebody who is old in age must be senile. Some of them are smarter than quite a few young people. And on the other end, people who are busy with binge eating, with lack of movement, and have not been blessed with genes that give you good blood flow in spite of all of this, because some people have those genes, eventually pay a big price. So now I want to talk about today in many ways. We live longer. Most people live longer. It's very, very interesting. It used to be that when I was young, the lifespan of a man was 60 and the lifespan of a woman was 62. We're long past that. In the United States, the lifespan of a man, I think, is 78 years already, and a woman gets closer to 80. And we have so many people who live older than 90, and we have a great amount of people who live over 100, not as many as who live over 90, but that may change in the next 15 or 20 years. I heard even in the West Bank, the lifespan of a Palestinian went up from 48 years to 75 years. So people live longer than ever. There's another thing that happens. More and more books talk about the fact that we need exercise to get more blood to the brain. And there are whole books about it, about BDNF that builds up brain cells, which is completely correct, especially in the hippocampus, but in my opinion, they'll find that it builds in many other areas, although hippocampus is very important. We have that. But one thing is lost these days, and that's what I want to talk about. I told you about the Tibetan yogis, that their work is lost because who knows about people who sat generation after generation with dark gowns in caves and palm, like Dr. Bates thought he invented it, but others invented it before him. Just like Columbus came to America and they thought it was first by the Vikings, did it way before that, but there wasn't as good communication for them to describe it to everybody else. And the people who crossed Siberia and went to America, where the natives did it 20,000 years before Columbus did it. But the point is, some things that happen could die out. And that's why I think my work is so important. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, people try to look deeply in life, deeply philosophically. All of a sudden, they look at deep philosophical books, deeply psychologically, and deeply kinesthetically into the body. which means with deeper feeling of the body. We had Alexander as a great teacher. We had Feldenkrais as a great teacher. We had Euthany as a great teaching. We have Goethe Alexander. We had all kinds of teaching in that time that became famous, but not famous enough. Therese Better's book, The Body Has Its Reason, is out of print. Even Aldous Huxley's book on vision improvement is out of print. It's very interesting. And he was very famous author that many of his other books are not out of print. And so what I'm seeing happening is today, most of the exercises are very rudimentary, like do 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and jump and roll and do, and 1, 2, 3. And people become, in my opinion, less interested in what happens to every cell of the body, what happens to the effect of every movement that they make to the well-being of the body. And so I just want to talk about few principles in my work, which are so important. And right after that, we'll move into body exercises. But the first most important principle is that we always breathe slowly and deeply. And that means that the whole upper torso expands when we inhale and shrinks when we exhale. And unlike other teachers, I prefer that as an exercise, you breathe in and out through your nose because it slows down the respiration and allows the blood to be much more oxygenated. That's number one. Number two, your job is not to strengthen the muscles that already are strong, as they teach you in every gym. And by the way, please show me a healthy athlete. They don't exist. They overwork their body, they kill themselves and think it's good. They look good, they look muscular, but not necessarily healthy. So the thing in gym is, in gymnasium, they try to overuse the muscles you already have abused. So what we need to do is learn where the muscles that we did not use are. I used to kiddingly say, it's like looking for the 10 missing Israeli tribes, right? We never found them. We may find them in different areas. So that's so important that we need to work hard on finding what we never use. Use those muscles, integrate them with the muscles we always use, and create new neurological connections. That is so important because, yes, you definitely are stronger when you're 25 or 30 than when you're 70. You're also more flexible in that time. But if you want to be in a good situation when you're 70, 80, 90, 100, you have to start and explore what you normally did not explore. How one place of the body connects to the other. Not simply go to an osteopath or chiropractor to tell you that you need to be aligned, but to find an inner way to align yourself. And so from here, we'll start with exercises. First of all, everybody owes to him or herself self-massage. So all of you follow me and start by massaging your arms all the way, massaging your chest, massaging your abdomen, and massage your legs all the way up. And you can also interlace your fingers and massage your lower back, if you can. And so your exercise is a lot of self-massage. I think anytime before you go to sleep, self-massage is a great thing because it brings more circulation and more sense of your body. So for example, another one is to massage like this. And what we can do is also massage ourselves with bunga balls. What's great about bunga balls, they can reach what most people cannot reach between their shoulders. Of course, you don't tap with bunker ball on soft tissue. You only tap on hard tissue, but the release of tapping is so good. So in the morning, I suggest bunker ball, and at night, 3-4 minutes before you go to sleep, working on bringing more circulation, so you always feel refreshed. It's one thing that you fall asleep because you're deadly tired. It's another thing that you fall asleep because you're really relaxed. So if you refresh your body and you feel relaxed, it makes a big difference. And so this is the first thing, which is very, very important. The next thing is, I hope that you all have yoga mats. I don't think I told you to have them, but either yoga mats or blanket. And Carl, if you can let me know if I am visible when I do this. I want to not touch the microphone. So, am I visible? My question. Okay, I'm lying down.
Yeah.
Can all of you lie down as you observe me? And first of all, put your feet together and your knees apart. Feet together and knees apart. And now, put the knees one by one on top of the other. So do you see, I'm putting the feet together. My left goes all the way to the right and then back. My right goes all the way to the left and then back. This is such a simple exercise, but in many cases, it saves hip joints. Then you put the legs together, and you move the legs from side to side. And the big thing here is that you think as if the lower leg lifts the upper leg up. It's so simple, but this is exactly a movement that many people who are very sedentary could use if they just lie down, either in the place of residence or the place of work. If they found a place to lie down and simply move the legs from side to side after a lot of sitting, that can use muscles they normally don't use. And of course, after that, we can put one over the other, assuming you don't have too many hip problems, and you move the legs all the way from side to side, this way. All the way from side to side. Left to right and right to left. And change legs, and again, move your legs all the way from side to side. Oh, can you pass me a ball? A bunker ball, I mean. Yeah. Thank you. Kyle is very helpful. So I am tapping here and tapping here, and I'm tapping on my hip as I'm moving. And you can do it with your fist. You don't need a ball for this, but bunker balls are wonderful. You can buy them online. You can even buy them from us. They're just a fantastic thing to do. Very helpful. And again, we can cross it and move it from side to side. And it's not a big challenge to most people. but for some people it is a challenge. So just do it in a way that works for you. And again, you put the legs together and you move them from side to side. Very simple movement like this is movement that we normally don't do. And opening the leg and bringing one leg to the side and one leg to the other side. That's a big deal. Now for the head, we move the head from side to side and we have a sense of the range of motion that we have. Now, I move the elbows in rotating motion to sense my arms as good as I can. And I look at one arm and bring my hand to the opposite side and bring it back. Then I look at the other arm, bring to the opposite side and bring it back. And bring it back. And look and bring over and bring it back. Now move the forearms in rotating motion. And move your legs from side to side. Okay, and the last but not least, I'll put the pillow again. We can roll from side to side with great ease. And we can do much more, but I want to talk about connection of places. So my microphone works well when it's here, right?
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Pay attention that I stand up, even though in my late 60s, without using my hands to stand up. I think that's very important. In fact, I've seen even young people, when they sit on a chair, I've seen them helping to get up with their hands. And if you want to be an independent 90 and 100-year-old, you need to have the habit from your early 20s to stand up without using your arms, to just let the legs do their work. If you do that, then as you reach a time when you become slightly less flexible, slightly weaker, you would find that there's a lot that you can do to improve yourself and to function and to be independent, not depend on anyone, and move much better. So let's talk right now about balance. And I think we talked about it several times because Susan Dunn, when she have interviewed me for Voice of America, asked about that question. I had a very dear client to me that simply fell in her 90s and hit her face. I had another dear client to me who fell down and broke her hip joint. And we can't afford to do things like this. And the way you don't do things like this is make sure your legs are strong. So let's work on strengthening of our legs. I will stand a bit farther. Good. So I'm lifting my leg up. And Kyle, give us all 1 minute. So all of you lift your leg up. Kyle is looking and make sure that we all do it for 1 minute. And I know it might be sore. I forgot to take my bunger ball, so I will just tap with my fist. The other one will do with the bunger balls. Anyway, just 1 minute upwards like this, and you can feel muscles that you normally don't use. Instead of overstraining the ones you always use, start to discover the ones you never knew you had. And so we did some of it on the floor, or doing it while standing. I know that many of you are at different hours of the day and the night, and at any time, it's a good thing to do. Sometimes minutes is a very short time. Sometimes it's very long. And believe me, Kyle will tell you exactly when the minute is over. Okay, now stand. And you can feel the difference between the two legs. The foot of the leg that you lifted up is much more on the floor. And the reason is it has less work to do. As the brain now knows, the brain, this area of the brain called the proprioceptors, knows that you're supported by the side muscles. So this time I'm going to take my Bunger ball, which I forgot a second ago. And again, Kyle, tell us when a minute ends. So all of you lift the leg up, stand as straight as you can. And you can tap with your fist, you can tap with a ball. Any way you want to tap on your leg. But we're going to spend a minute lifting the leg up. And I know it's a long minute. You can also move your foot in rotating motion, but feel this area. It feels so good, I don't want the minute to be over. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly. All right, we put the leg down, now we can feel comfortable. There's much more I can tell you about, but one thing which is very important, that anytime you stand or you sit on a chair, you got to rest from sitting on a chair. Like what we did now. And you know, medical profession has all kinds of ways with words. They didn't think it was wrong to sit on a chair, but about 7 years ago, 6 years ago, they started to say, the sitting is the new smoking. My goodness, it's not the same. Smoking is worse. But sitting is really bad. I mean, if you sit in a plane, you'll know that. After a while, it's hard to sit. That's why I take 2 tennis balls on which I put pressure on my back. But one thing you can do, every 20 minutes to half an hour of sitting, you can grab a leg, right? So all of you, grab a leg if you can. Push your chest forwards and look at the ceiling. And if you cannot grab your leg, just push your chest forwards and look at the ceiling. If you can grab the leg, bring it backwards. That's opposite than sitting. You're stretching the exact muscle that contracts when you sit. And it doesn't take long. All you have to do is, 10 seconds. That's all. If every 20 minutes or half an hour, you'll stand for 20 seconds, stretch yourself like this, you won't let the tension build up. So I talked about the body, and there's much more to talk about and much more to demonstrate, but we don't have all the time in the world. So I will move to the eyes right now. But I just want to say that most neurological problems could have been totally prevented. And most arthritis, which is an affliction of the whole world, could be averted completely. That is, if we learn to use what we normally don't use. And if we had time, I would have shown you how you can move your toes independently and how you could do all kinds of movements that you're not used to. But it is so important for us now to dedicate time to find what we don't use, not to kill ourselves with overwork and think it's good for us. It is in some ways, because it releases tension that we have, releases hormones, brings more blood for that moment. But if you do a lot of exercise and your hips remain stiff, and your ankles remain stiff, and the muscles which are weak remains weak, we're in trouble. Sooner or later, you create imbalance in your body. And that imbalance with time becomes neurological problems, arthritis, and other issues. It's hard to find a person without back pain. And I must tell you, 69 years with no back pain. Why? Because I learned how to use my body wisely. So let's be wise, close our eyes, and first of all, feel our breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And sense how your whole body expands, your upper torso expands when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. And by the way, you can visualize that the legs that you worked on right now expand when you breathe in and shrinks when you breathe out. I mean, you cannot feel it because it doesn't happen, but you can imagine it. And you can imagine that your arms expand as you inhale and shrink when you exhale. Your hands expand when you inhale and shrink when you exhale. Your head expand when you inhale and shrink when you exhale. So while the upper torso, the chest, the ribs, the abdomen, the back, they all expand and shrink with your breath, the limbs and the head, you imagine if they expand, as if they expand when you inhale and shrink when you exhale. That's very important. Let's talk about vision. Soon I will have my annual workshop. I think it's the best, actually, workshop of 6 days on natural vision improvement. Just want to also alert you that in August, those people who want to study my work can start with an initial practitioner on self-healing. We shortened the course to 2 weeks, 8 hours a day. So that's going to be very easy for you to take that course. This will be 3 weeks. And you learn sophisticated body work, sophisticated exercises, and eye exercise. And specifically for vision, we have right now 6 days, and it's really good to take all 6. Although those who can't, I invite you to take part of it. And the reason is, as you train your eyes to see better, and as you do it daily, after 6 days, 90% of the people have better vision. I've seen it. Some people improve by 4 or 5 lines on the chart. So having an intensive is very, very important. Okay. Let us right now talk about vision. These days, more people than ever have vision problems. First of all, if you look at tribes which are we call primitive, the bush people in Africa, their vision is so much better than anyone who sees 20/20. The vision is 3 times better than that person or more. If you think about the people in the Amazon, the native in the Amazon, they have amazing vision. The Maoris in New Zealand have amazing vision. The Bedouins in the desert have amazing vision. But we lost our good vision. And the reason is the reading first, not in such a good light, then the smartphone, the tablet, and the computer. We look too much from near. I want to tell you about my story in that I used to stand, and I still do it sometimes, this close to the TV screen that I'm near. And while I loved working, it was so tiring to stand this close. And Kyle said, oh, you know what? We can have a microphone. So I have this microphone, and I'm sitting about, I would say, 7 or 8 feet from the television that I have, which is connected to the laptop. And I have such a relief to sit at that distance. I don't see as well as I would see from near, but my eyes are much more relaxed. So first of all, we have tremendous amount of tension from near vision. Second of all, we have a lot of trauma in our life, personal trauma, and other forms of trauma. So we have tremendous amount of trauma in our life, and that trauma remains as memory within the tissues of the eyes. Unfortunately, the work of medicine, while being very sophisticated, is very technical and rudimentary. They're not looking at the connection between the mind and the eyes. They're not looking at connection between the mind and the ears. Some people finally are looking at the connection between the mind and the heart, and the mind and some places of the body. But medicine is not seeing the fact that seeing has a lot to do with memory. And if you have traumatic memory, and I can tell you, quite a few people that I worked with have brought up trauma that they couldn't recover from. If you have traumatic memory, it could definitely affect your vision. So the number one important thing for us to remember, let the vision in. Don't force yourself to see. It's the forcing of the eyes to see that eventually causes many eye problems. And that is the genius of Bates. Dr. Bates found, and beside all the things that he was saying, is that the harder you try to see, the worse you see, which is a huge, huge discovery of his. But in his time, only 6% of the children were nearsighted in New York. Today, 48%. What a difference. So, but that's true, in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 48% of the people have glasses. In the Amazon, 3%. What a difference. So let's return to our point. We have principles of natural vision improvement from which we create the exercises. We need to pay attention to the periphery, something that most people forgot exists. Because when you look at your computer, there is no wall, there's no ceiling, there's no floor. I don't know if you remember, but we suggested for you to cut 4 pieces of paper in preparation to today, right? Those 4 pieces of paper are important for the exercise I'm going to show in a few minutes. So as you listen to me, please cut them, because we're going to go through the exercises rather quickly in a way, because I want to give some time for questions and answers. So to begin with, let's understand where the whole thing starts. It starts with pessimism of the conventional world that eyes can get better. That pessimism has no place because it was never credibly researched that eyes can get better. Now, I don't have money to research my work because one research alone could easily cost $750,000. I'm far away from having it. I'm doing well in life. Don't understand me wrong. I don't feel deprived of anything. I feel rich. They're saying that rich is somebody who is happy with his fair share. I'm very happy with my fair share. But I would say that it takes $750,000 to do one research. And unless you did between 20 and 30 research, it's not being considered done. So you can see how much money one needs to raise to do it. So we called different universities, and some professors loved the ideas that I brought, and it always died in committee. So the medical establishment that could do credible research never done it. And if they did research, it was done in such a sloppy way, it's not even worth mentioning. And they don't know that this works, and they don't want it to work. Because if you will improve your vision, they'll be out of 80 or 90% of the surgeries and the drops that are prescribed for you. So it's a real good idea for you to be revolutionary. And that's why I want you in my class in 6 days You can be inspired to continue to work. Of course, you need to continue to work for a year afterwards. But I want to inspire you to work on yourself and to improve your vision, as I've done. Because I used to be the quickest Braille reader in the state of Israel, and today I drive a car with no restrictions. And I remember at the age of 28, when I got my license, it was like a Nobel Peace Prize for me. And now that I'm 69, 41 years of driving a car with no restrictions, no accidents. The only thing that I did, I got a ticket for getting to park my car in the wrong place last week. But other than that, and I hope it will never happen again. Other than that, I basically don't have a problem. Okay. So it's very important for us to look at the distance. Very, very. It's very important for us to adjust to the sun. Not to wear sunglasses unless the sun really glare against the road, or is straight in our eyes, or we ski, something like this. But normally, not to wear sunglasses. Let the pupils do their work. Don't make it easy for them to not constrict, that you need to constrict when you see things. Also, it's so important that pupils constrict. All of you, take a look at anything, could be even me on the screen, and look through your fist. And if you look through your fist, you can see so much better. I think we have pinholes here, but if we don't, I think we do. If we don't, we have it in the beach bag, or yeah. So that's why we have pinhole glasses, that you can easily look through those pinholes and see way better. All it is are holes. And so Kyle, come here for a second.
Yep.
Come here. Without the chair. The chair is not a part of the balance. Go like this, all the way to the end of the room. Okay. And you look at the clock. You see it well?
Yeah.
Now put the glasses on. How does it look now?
It looks sharper.
Look sharper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now let's do something else. Take the glasses off. And how much of this chart, I'm showing you this chart, can you read?
Everything but the bottom line.
Okay. Let me put it here. How much of it can you read now?
Let's see. I could read up to the third from the bottom.
Okay, now put the glasses on. How does it look now?
Oh wow. Now I can see second from the bottom.
Nice, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
And all that because you look through holes. So basically, the pupils can constrict. You can put in the beach bag. The pupils can constrict, and you can see better because they constrict. So when you wear sunglasses, they don't constrict as much. So your vision in the daytime gets compromised. So we need to adjust to the strong light. Also need to adjust to the dark light or no light. And it is so wonderful. I remember once I was walking in Singapore with 150 people among trees. And first they could see much of nothing, and then they were able to see so much more. It's such a relief when parts of our periphery start to work. So looking at a distance is important, in compensation to the fact that we have to look so much from near. Adjusting to the strong light is important, so the pupils will constrict. Adjusting to the dark of the night is important, so the pupils will expand. And retinal cells that work in the dark would work. And if they constrict, retinal cells that work in the light would work. It is so important to rest the eyes. And right now we'll do a couple of exercises, including resting of the eyes. And so I want to show you how I do it. I have 4 pieces of paper, small, medium, large, extra large, right? And so I have a masking tape with me. And what I do is I'm taking the masking tape and I'm rolling the masking tape. And first of all, I put it on the small piece of paper, right in the middle. Okay. Then I'm taking the masking tape. I'm rolling the masking tape. And I'm putting this right in the middle. I'm taking the masking tape, I'm rolling it, and I'm putting it right in the middle. I'm taking the masking tape, I'm rolling, and I'm putting it right in the middle. So I can put it like this. So, oops, well, okay, good. I'm so happy to have Kyle here because Zoom has its own mind. Sometimes all of a sudden we're out of Zoom. Anyway, so first of all, look straight at anything. Does not have to be your computer, could be anywhere in the room. And wave your hands to the side, above, to the side, below. Cover one eye and wave all the way. Now pay attention. If I wave my hand to the side of my left eye, it can go above, it can go below. If I wave my hand to the side of the left eye, I also have right periphery in my left eye. Same thing here. If I wave my hand to the side of the right eye, I also have left periphery in the right side. So I'm looking straight. Looking straight. I'm looking straight. Now, put this on, wave your hands to the side, and walk around in your room, just like I walk in this room. Walk around in your room while waving your hands to the side. You can wave near your eyes, a little bit in the middle, like near the shoulders, and then very far. You can close one eye, close the other eye for a split second, and wave both. So this disturbs you to see the central vision and forces you to see the peripheral vision. Now I can exchange, take the small off, put the middle one on, and I'm waving my hands. And now exchange again. And wave. And now let's go to the very big one and wave. And Kyle, turn all the lights off. And if you can turn all the lights off in your room, rub your hands and put your hands around your eye orbits as you palm with this exercise. And so the paper is on, but the palms are around the eye orbits. But this is not real palming. You're doing it for a very short period of time. Open your eyes and you can turn all the lights on again. And you wave your hands to the side. And then we exchange paper. Okay. And then we can take the next paper off. Wave your hands to the side. And now take the very small piece of paper. And again, see how smaller it became for you. That means your periphery became bigger. And that's so important. Doctors always check if you lost your periphery. Well, that's a way for you to increase it. So wave your hand to the side and walk around. What I recommend that you do, because our time is moving on, what I recommend that you do is when we finish, take a look at the video of palming. And we have it in YouTube, don't we,
Yeah.
Kyle? We have it in YouTube, the video of palming. You can also download our work online. You can also download the MP3 relaxation of the eyes and Meir's vision. The MP3s, if you can write down the MP3s and also our videos online that they can download so they can all have it in front.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open right now the floor for questions and answers. I hope you enjoyed my brief lecture. So I think that this is the work of Susan, right? She's going to.
Yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand through Zoom, and we will answer them in order.
We do have some
Okay.
questions that were
Yeah.
written in the chat, and somebody wants to.
My preference is that people ask themselves those questions, so I can see their face when they ask the question. That's my preference.
Okay, so that's your
Anyone has
answer on transition glasses? Okay. So somebody also asked about apraxia.
I still want to see them in person when they ask questions.
Okay.
About not
Anyone
wearing.
can raise their hands?
Can I ask a question about not wearing sunglasses? So, so one thing
What's your-
we were taught is when we go out and it's really bright, if we don't wear sunglasses, it generates lots of free radicals, which can cause damage to the eye. It also makes sense what you said in terms of letting the eye do its own work to do the contracting. So what's the best way to actually balance that? Because I can see
Well,
the importance of the muscles being.
I understand your question, so let me answer you. The way that radicals don't go away is that the blood doesn't flow to get them out of our system. So you have radicals that are in cells, you have radicals which come to the eyes, you even have radicals not just from the sun. You could be indoors and you look and you will generate radicals. And the point is that what we need is enough blood flow to get rid of them. And that you get with loose neck and with very active eyes. So in a way, when you wear sunglasses, you generate more radicals because you don't have as much movement of your pupils and not as much activity in your eyes. So I think it's a one-sided approach to the whole thing. What we need is to learn to adjust to the sun. And the way we adjust to the sun, as you can see in some of my videos, and you can learn from me, is we close the eyes and we move the head all the way from side to side, and we push forwards the opposite shoulder. But I really prefer that you really observe and learn how to do it, because it also could be dangerous. But as you face the sun, the pupils constrict. As you move away, they expand, and movement within the eye can definitely wash away the radicals.
Thank you. That's a
Any
very,
questions?
very good explanation. Another question that I have is, there's a lot of products on the market that talks about antioxidant, things like bilberries, things like oh gosh, I don't know some of the terminologies, but it's antioxidants that protects the retina. So things like that, are they good for us, or they were just marketing?
Let's put it this way. They're good. They're not the last word, but let's understand something. first of all, good food. I ate some berries before I came here, black currant and black and blueberries. They're wonderful, strawberries, they're all great, and also taking some vitamin A and taking all kinds of supplements could be helpful. But let me explain to you what happens in oxidation. First of all, oxidation is the natural product of cell metabolism. Every cell gets basically sugar molecule, that comes with the insulin. The insulin brings the sugar molecule into the cell, and then it meets with oxygen, and there is a metabolism there that creates the energy molecule that we have. It's called ATP. And then what happens is all kinds of byproducts happening, which among them, basically all kinds of radicals. What would help them the most is your blood flow. The more you walk, the more you exercise, the more you use muscles that you never used before, the more blood flows. Then when the blood flows, you don't need any antioxidants. The antioxidant is your circulation. But should I tell you not to eat berries? Please do. I eat them myself and drink some good juices. Like I squeeze my juices. I squeeze my orange juice. I squeeze my carrot juice. Those are the good things I drink. I must tell you the truth. I do drink some bad things like, chai latte, which I shouldn't be drinking and all that. But nevertheless, when I squeeze my own juices, they're so much tastier than anything that I could buy in a refrigerator of a supermarket, So those things are very good for us. And we have to get the best of food that we can possibly get. And I think it's going to make a big difference for us. Okay, thanks.
Rona, we seem to have lost your questions, but if you've disappeared, we'll take Lucas next. So Lucas, if you could unmute, because I don't know where Rona went.
Hello, Lukáš Richta from Czech Republic, from Prague. Hello, I would like to ask you a question. I have dry eye syndrome, and I have problems with meibomian glands. I have atrophy, but not such a big grade. I think it's the second grade from 4. And I'd like to know your opinion. Because I have glasses which should protect me from blue light emitted by screens. So do you have any opinion for these kind of glasses which should protect me? Thank you.
Why do they think your meibomian gland degenerated?
I think it should be caused by watching computers. It happened to me in school while watching computers.
So I'm looking at you, and your middle back is very tense. Okay, it has to do with computer use. Also, I would like you to blink a bit better. So I have wonderful exercises. For example, to sit cross-legged and move the whole body in rotating motion, to massage the forehead on the floor. And that really can make a big difference in terms of tearing formation. Tearing is so important. What I recommend you do is every 15 minutes that you work with the computer, for 10 seconds, put cold towel around your eyes closed. Don't put all those drops. I heard that also there's good cucumber juice that people can put here, but the main thing is cold towel and loosening up your middle back. If you have time to come in the summer for my training course, we work on the body and on the eyes. It could make a big difference. Or if you can come February for the 6-day class, we definitely do exercises to loosen up the middle back and bring more tears to the eyes. And you need to work a lot on your neck, and you need to be in the dark a lot and do the exercise of palming, which we didn't have time to do today. Okay?
Thank you very much. I have a problem. I
Did you
think
read
I
my
have.
book in Czech?
Pardon?
Read his book.
Did you read my book in Czech?
Yeah, I read it. I've already read it.
In Czech.
Yeah, in Czech. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Thank
Mary.
you.
Yeah, hi. I've got wet macular degeneration and epithelial detachment in my left eye, and I'm having injections which I would like to be able to stop having. Would the work you do help with that?
Where do you have the wet macular degeneration? In both eyes
The left eye,
or one eye? Left eye.
yeah.
We can definitely overcome this. We can definitely overcome this. The idea is to loosen up your neck so more blood will come to you. And let me explain to you why you have wet macular degeneration. Because not enough blood comes to your retina. So the body creates new capillaries. And those capillaries leak. They're not perfect.
Yeah.
So they can destroy retinal cells, which you need for your vision. So I wouldn't say stop your actions, by no means, until there are no more capillaries that could create hemorrhage, okay? So the first thing you do, exercises, and parallel to that, you need to do body exercise, like I explained to Lucas, right? That you move, that you work on your middle back. But I also want to talk about toes today. I didn't get there. But I would say this: you get more blood flow to your head, your neck is more relaxed, and the eyes can do much, much better. And at a certain point, I had several clients who told me, hey, my doctor says the injection is not necessary anymore.
Right.
And that's the point I would like to bring you. So come to the 6-day class, register for individual sessions, and come for my training. You're going to love all of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Alan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I spoke to you yesterday on the phone about the training on August. But I had a question. I have retinitis pigmentosa, but on my left eye, I've been working on the exercises already, but on my left eye, I have a macular edema. So, I've tried everything. I've tried pills. I've tried drops and everything, but I can't find a way to reduce the macular edema, because that makes everything look like in a swirl, kind of, blurry. Everything looks like, on my left eye, everything looks, very blurry. So what exercise or what do you recommend to reduce that edema and get a better vision on my left eye?
Let me ask you a question. Why do you wear a hat?
I'm at work right now, so I just don't like to comb my hair. I wear a hat just.
And I'll tell you why I'm asking that question. Because
Okay.
retinitis pigmentosa affects pretty badly the peripheral vision.
Yes, it
And
does.
you need
Yeah.
anything can help you expand your peripheral vision. And so the hat blocks your peripheral vision.
Correct.
So
Yes, that is true.
very important. What we normally do with macular edema is as such. We patch the eye without the edema, which I understand is your right eye, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we put a paper patch over the left eye, and we get you to do some exercises. Sometimes we have light that blinks to wake up the cells where basically there is scotoma or lack of vision.
Okay.
So that's what we do with. But the other thing is to bring much more blood flow. It's interesting. You remind me so much of another student who is really a good practitioner in my work, by the name of Will, who came to me also with a macular edema. And the reason he had that is that he actually was a boxer. And in one training, somebody hit him, and ever since then, he had that macular edema. So I think it's so important to activate that area, and also to activate the periphery. Have you done the 4 pieces of paper that we did today?
Yeah, I've been working on it. Yeah, I didn't work on it now because, like I said, I'm at work. But I've been trying it at home, and it has been helping me, and it feels great.
Okay, any more questions?
Well,
or-
it's so nice to see you, Lucas. I can't tell you what to do.
Okay, on to Kimberly.
I have a question. Good afternoon. So I appreciate the answer about the young lady who gets
Right.
injection in her eyes, because my husband has the same thing. So we're gonna follow that. Oh yes, I'll start my video. There we go. And so I put this in the chat to you and also Dr. Downs, but my mother has macular degeneration and she has Stargardt's, which, as I understand, is kind of the worst version. Her brother had it, and they both went through an NIH study where she believes it was worsened because the study just kept flashing bright lights into their eyes in order to, I guess, test them. She's 76 now, and it is heartbreaking to the point of tears for me to see her in this state because she is nearly blind now. She can see kind of out of a pinhole almost. She cannot recognize details on faces. She can't see. And so I wanted to know, that's a very drastic stage. And I know you were born blind, so it gives me a lot of hope. But with her condition and disease, what are some, I'm going to introduce these exercises to her and look at your YouTube videos, but I think she needs like serious intervention in order to jumpstart her healing. And then also, my husband had the detached retina, so he gets shots in his eyes, which he wants to stop.
Well, you're asking good questions. So let's start with your mom. The important thing about your about Stargardt is that it's macular degeneration, basically. So by nature, it shouldn't affect the peripheral vision. But what happens is the strain to see in the periphery becomes so big that eventually you lose your peripheral vision. So there's a lot of work to do to wake up the peripheral vision so she won't only look for one little point. About your husband, I can tell you a story. The guy came to me, that was in the 90s, early 90s, and he's in one eye of his, he had 9 tears in his retina, and he became almost completely blind, except I was able to get him to see blinking lights. In the other eye, he was able to see pretty good, about 75% of normal vision. But then there were already 2 tears, and he was afraid to lose his vision. So we worked, and he took few of my training courses, and the result was that he gained a lot of vision in the eye that remained, and there were no more tears. So I think doing eye exercises, which is physiotherapy of the eye and the brain, can make a big difference.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Paul. Oh, pardon me, Rona. Rona was there first. Sorry. Dr. Stanley.
Oh, hi there. I want to thank you for sharing with us so much insight and from your own personal experience, and also teaching us so well how the whole body is connected to the eyes. And I also would like to ask you, can we join a group where we can have access to others doing these exercises to reinforce our ability to do them and our desire?
Yeah, sooner or later, we're probably going to do that in terms of doing a group on Zoom. At this point, my another practitioner by the name of Richard Miller has a group that is going on. And if you write to Kyle, Kyle will direct you to his email, you know, and he works in group. But sooner or later, we're going to do a group online as well. But until then, you can have my 5 videos of classes on self-healing online, which you can download.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Paul.
Hey, thank you. Thanks very much. Do you recommend wearing weaker glasses for a period of time through the day? And if so, how much weaker should we go?
So you're asking a good question. And I would say this. The Department of Motor Vehicles says that you can drive seeing 20/40, at least in California it says that, even 20/50. And 20/20 is the vision that ophthalmologists say you should see to call it normal vision. So what I recommend is that you wear glasses the least you can, as long as, here's the caveat, that you don't strain to see, that you don't try to see without glasses what you do see with glasses. And if that's going to be the case, sooner or later, you're going to see better, better, and better. So I would say keep the glasses in the pocket as much as you can, and do get 20/40 prescription, 80% of 20/20. And then once you get 20/40 prescription, put that in the pocket. But sometimes when you walk, you look at signs, put them on. Another thing is have pinholes. So sometimes you can simply put the pinholes if the sign is almost clear, but not quite clear. And sometimes when the sign is completely not clear, put the glasses on. If you do eye exercises diligently, for example, if you take my 6-day eye class, your chances is within a few weeks to see 20/20 with the 20/40 prescription. Once you do that, you reduce it again, and then again, and again, and slowly, slowly, you don't need the glasses.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Rana, you finally come.
Hi. So I have myopia, which has been overcorrected for many years. I got into maybe a more normal correction last year, but I cannot see well. And one of the issues is my right eye is always a little blurry, with or without glasses at any distance. And I noticed that one letter is superimposed on the other letter with my right eye. And so I'm just wondering, well, the optometrist doesn't know why. He thinks maybe my astigmatism has changed. But when he tried to correct it, those, you know,
It's not correctable with glasses. The problem that you have is that your eyes are not working together.
Mm.
And in fact, in my 6-day class, I show how to get them to work together. So you need to do exercise with, which are specific to correct your eyes. One is, by the way, it looks stupid and silly, but it's a very nice exercise. By the way, all my exercise looks stupid and silly, just so you know. Okay, there's one exercise, and you can ask Kyle, he can attest to that. Yeah, one of them is that I put a paper between my eyes and I throw a ball from hand to hand, not before I catch. Now, what happened is one eye sees the ball in each side, the other sees the ball in that side. So one eye doesn't see what the other one sees. And I create independence of the two eyes. And what happens is you don't have independence because one eye controls the other. And there's no glasses that can fix it. There's no surgery that can fix it. They always offer you things like this. It's not going to work. Working on connecting between your brain and I think in this case, your right eye will make a huge difference, and the two eyes will work more together. Not doing it is a formula for disaster. You're a young woman. How old are you right now?
45.
Show me your ID card, please. You look to me about younger
Your
than
check,
that.
your check is in the mail. So
So
when I
anyway,
go,
what I'm saying is, you need to find a way to connect between your brain and the right eye, and then to get the brain to get them to work together. There is no optical solution. There's no surgical solution, and don't believe anyone who will offer it to you. So what's your question?
Thank you. So I'm due to go back to this optometrist for a dilated exam with relaxed muscles because they thought they're correct. I don't relax my muscles well, I'm sure.
Of course, you don't relax your face either.
That's a good point. So yeah, but you know, the glasses that they gave me from the dilated exam last year, I can't see well. I wear them, but I can't read signs and things like that. So I'm going back for a new exam. I don't want to hinder my progress in doing the exercises. So should I just wait on the glasses, or should I tell him, give me 80/40, don't correct the astigmatism? I mean,
Don't correct anything more than you corrected already. Don't
Okay.
dilate your pupils. Come and see me and work with me. That's all you need to do.
okay, thank you.
I mean, and work. Okay, seeing me, I'm a bad man. I'm asking for people to work. Okay?
I've read your books. I know. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ryan,
Yeah, so I wore glasses as a kid, sorted it out in the 80s and early 90s with some Bates stuff, a little help from you. And I've been kind of floating along, not needing reading glasses or passing my eye test at the DMV. And then all of a sudden, a couple of months ago, one of my eyes started to get blurry. So I went into a optometrist or ophthalmologist, whatever it is. They test my, no macular degeneration, no glaucoma, no cataracts. And they say, well, yeah, your vision got worse. So the question is, what might cause something like that, and what might a solution be?
Let me ask you a question. Why does the hair in the left side covers your eye a little bit?
Oh, just a bad haircut.
Well, I'm not telling you to have a haircut. You have beautiful hair. You have much more hair than I do, that's for sure. But what I want to say is that one of your eyes overworks and the other eye is underworking. And it's just like standing on one leg. And at a certain point, at a certain age, your body is tired of it. And then the vision starts to diminish. So you need a lot of rest, like the palming we didn't do today. The periphery was wonderful, but the palming we didn't do today. And really, I would recommend you come and delve into my 6 days and work with it. It will make the whole difference in the world for you. And you'll gain back the vision that you lost, but then you have to keep working. And it's like, you asked me the question, Meir, why are you walking 54 blocks 3 or 4 times a week? You already have done it before. No, I still have to do it, So you need to get to new habits with your eyes, where more of your periphery works, where both of them work together, where you look enough to the distance to compensate for looking from near. And eventually your vision will be as clear as a bell, basically.
So what you're saying is the eye that has lost acuity is the one that has been the dominant eye and has worked hardest.
Exactly. What would be if you stand on one leg a lot?
Excuse me?
What would be if you stand on one leg a lot?
Oh, yeah, I could try that.
Let me give you the example. When I work with polio patients, I worked with polio patients since I was 17, but I saw many of them when I was 18 and 19. And the way that medicine worked is they did all kinds of surgeries. And often in polio, one leg is much stronger than the other. The one is very thin and the other one is thick from overwork. Now, physiotherapy in that time was training those people to use the strong side. And you understand why they did it. They want them to drive. They want them to cut vegetables and live normal life. I always worked on the paralyzed side. Sometimes my achievement was 2%, sometimes 65%. Let's talk 10 years later. So many post-polio were coming to the world because those people overworked the strong side. So it was reoccurring of polio symptoms. They had heart attacks and strokes. It happened also to my clients, but 40 years later, because they really learn to balance to some extent the paralyzed side and the non-paralyzed. Is that interesting? So it's changing your brain. The brain is so powerful. It can do so many things. There was one lady with polio that they put a bone from her hip to her ankle. And we thought it's permanent. The foot will never move because they wanted her to stamp on that leg so she wouldn't need to have a brace, basically. They did it for their reason. Was always a kind, good reason, but with wrong thinking. We spent some time working with imagery and she could start to move that foot. And she walked with a cane and got rid of the cane. So what I'm saying is with your brain and with the right exercises, you can change everything.
All right, cool. Are you still in San Francisco?
I am, by the beach. By ocean.
Okay, great.
Okay, Cheryl.
Yes, thank you, Meir. Good to see you. And I worked with you a few years when you were here in the East Coast and once privately. I wanted to know what I could do to help minimize the effects of the diagnosis of glaucoma and mild cataracts. And also my husband now has a diagnosis of fairly severe cataracts, and he does not want surgery, and neither do I.
Okay, so let me ask you first of all about your husband. That's pretty easy. What kind of cataract he has? What number? 1, 2, 3, 4? Do you know?
I think it's the 4th stage.
Yeah, then I recommend the surgery. Sorry to say that. And then do eye exercises to balance the eyes. But when there's a 4th stage and you cannot anymore read the big letter on the line, I don't see any reason why to compromise his visual life and his life. In your case, I want you to understand what glaucoma is. It's death of the optic nerve. Now, doctors are saying it comes because of eye pressure, and I think that's a part of it. The main reason is that the eyes have to work in more balance. The eyes have to expand the way we started with peripheral work today. That's a great thing. Working on your body is a great thing. But loosening up your neck and creating balanced hues between the 2 eyes and within each eye is what's going to make a very big difference. I hope that you would consider coming to San Francisco and resting from the weather in New York, although today it's rainy here, but sooner or later it's going to be nice again. I bathed in the ocean a few days ago, twice actually, because it was 67 degrees, So Fahrenheit, just about 19 Celsius. But I would say that I would love to see you here for 6 days and help you overcome this, because you must loosen up your neck so then more blood comes to your head, and that will help the eye and the optic nerve mainly. And how you prevent your cataract from growing is looking at the distance. The more you look at the distance, the better it is. Get my book, Vision for Life. You can order it from us with a video program that shows you how to work on it. Get our 5 classes online. It's going to make a very big difference for you. But if you have the time and the finances, and we have a list of housing that are not that expensive that you can get, and you can come from New York to San Francisco. It's a 6-hour flight at the end of the day, and spend 6 days working on your eyes. That's going to make all the difference in the world.
All right, I would love to come. I don't know if I will be able to this time. And I wanted to ask you, do you have
Then
someone?
you have to wait a year. Then you have to wait a year.
Do you have someone on this on the East Coast? And I'm actually in the Washington metropolitan area. Do you have someone on the East Coast?
I don't
to-
have anyone on the East Coast. Sometimes I myself go to Quebec, Canada, which is like a short flight. I did teach many times in Washington in the past, and I had wonderful connection in Washington. I'll try to find a way to have connection, have a person who can organize workshop for me, and if that's the case, I will come to the East Coast.
All right, I look forward to it. Okay,
Let's
thank
keep
you.
it. You're welcome.
Okay, Richard.
Thank you. And thanks for doing this video. My question is, I don't know what the term is for what I have, but when I look up, as I look up, the whatever I'm looking at starts to split into two. I can't bring them together. And if I look down, they come back together.
They call
Pardon
it
me?
diplopia.
Diplopia?
Yeah.
Is there any reference to that in the book and with
Definitely.
possible exercises?
Definitely. And I started with the first one when I've shown to the nice lady to throw the ball from hand to hand. But there are quite a few exercises for diplopia. That includes red and green glasses exercises. So we definitely work with diplopia, and I was able to manage most of them.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we have a place for one or two more questions because time is up.
Okay, Steve.
Or can you hear me okay?
Very well.
Yes, I had a 10-hour-long brain surgery to remove a mass from my brain. They removed the mass and found out that it was somehow related to a prostate cancer, which I didn't know I had. And now I have a strange anomaly. My left eye sees fairly well. I don't like to wear glasses because I want to strengthen them. But the right eye is a reflection of what is in the left eye. In other words, they're coupled. I don't have.
Right now, let's say if you cover your left eye, cover it.
Yes.
With your hand, cover it with your hand. Do you see?
I see a blurred, darkened picture of the screen. I can't really see the detail of you on it right now. I just see the light coming from the screen, and I see windows and things around in my room where I'm sitting. I see some things, but it's very dark. And the vision of this eye is reflected in this eye. I've lost.
Right, because what happened is your brain basically took a lot of the neurological activity of the right eye and put it in the left.
I see.
And so we must meet, we must work. Can you pull me obstructive lens? The left is the best, but anyway. Okay, I have here right obstructive lens, but you need left obstructive lens. We have a lot of exercises where we obstruct the eye that sees and play ball. Like in your case, colorful big ball.
Yes.
What?
I understand.
Oh, here, put this on. He has obstruction on the bad eye, but you said now put the obstruction on the good eye.
Never put obstruction on the bad eye. Never ever.
Oh, okay.
Never ever. Then you degenerate. It's just like you say, I can't walk, I'm going to sit in a wheelchair. No. Or you put obstruction on the strong eye, and you take a colorful ball, you go outside where there's good light, daylight, and you start to work from 2 or 3 feet, and then you go farther and farther. But that's the way to start and work with it. I hope to see you individually so I can wake up that eye.
I think we'll be planning to do your 7-day, and thank you very much. I am diagnosed with cancer, which is not so much fun, but I replace a thought of fear with a stronger thought of courage. So I'm going to live.
You did well. I would say think that your white blood cells attack the cancer and kill it. And you know, the cancer hates oxygen. So move, swim, do whatever you can do to bring more oxygen to your body.
Okay.
And fight the cancer that way, because
Thanks.
Eventually, if the patient doesn't work, it's your oxygen that will make the difference. And it's
Good.
so nice to see you. You and your
Good.
wife look lovely.
Thank you. I'm
Well-
walking almost a mile a day now, and I've gone way beyond recovery that anybody would ever expect. So I have recovery power. I am 81, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not too worried about the age.
If you die before the age of 100, I'll kill you.
We'll come and see you soon. Are
Thank
you
you.
open today?
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, we lost Barbara, it seems. If she's there, please pop up. Otherwise, let's go to.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Barbara. Okay, Barbara, why don't
Yeah,
you speak? You disappeared, but you did have.
I
your
don't
hand
know
up.
what yeah, I don't know what happened to my video. My camera's on. Hi, Mayor. I took your, here we are. I took your 6-day course years ago. It was great, but I have a different issue right now that I think maybe you could help me with. It's a bad habit I've developed when I'm at my computer or sometimes even just working at a desk. I start squinting and I close my left eye and I try to catch myself when I do it, but I've just done it too much over the last couple of years. And it ends up that now at night, I've lost some of the vision in the eye that tends to close when, when I squint. And I want to be able to.
Here's what I suggest. You put this over the right eye, and you wave your hand, and is the left eye the weaker eye or the stronger eye?
The left eye is the one that lost some of the night vision.
Okay, so you wave your hand to the side of the right, and you look at the computer with your left for 5 minutes at a time, 3 or 4 times a day. You look at the distance, and then you do the peripheral exercise that we did. And I'm looking at you, and I'm dying to do body work with you. I like to lay my hand on your neck and loosen it up. I want to loosen your jaw. I want to see more blood flowing to your head. Do you walk a lot?
Do I do what?
Walk a lot.
Not as much as I would like, just because of where I live. It's difficult. Yeah.
So if you can put a circumstance where you can walk, dance, do whatever you need to do to get more blood flow, it will help you a lot. But I would love to do with you body work, and you need to start and exercise the left eye all you can on its own. So as I show you the paper and waving of the hands, we really need to meet and work on that. Okay, thank you. One more question because we're going.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Hi, finally glad to be on here, Susan. And thank you for doing this. I am 61, never worn glasses, but I have 2 detached vitreous from taking mirtazapine for a couple years for sleep. I don't take it anymore, but that's a known side effect apparently. And I have astigmatism in this eye. Sometimes I get really blurry outside rim of my vision, and I'll rub my eye and it won't go away, and then eventually it will go away, but sometimes it's many minutes that it's there.
Never ever rub your eye. You can affect your cornea very badly with that. So never rub your eye. If you want, you can put a cold towel around your eyes, but never rub your eyes. Blink a lot. And the number one thing that you need to do is, first of all, accept the blurriness. Then through it, you look at details, you look at the distance, and slowly the blurriness will go away. The problem that you have with vitreous detachment is that you have a lot of loose particles in your eyes.
Yeah, a lot of black spots.
Yeah, and they float. And what you have to do is look at one of them at a time. When you look at it, it goes away. Then you look at it again, the same one, and slowly, you will get much better as you look at those things. So,
but what causes this blurriness that encroaches around the
detached vitreous?
Oh, I didn't know that
So
was.
we can slowly get rid of it, but never, ever, listen to me, never scratch your eyes, never scratch, never rub, don't do it. Put cold towel, put warm and cold towel to be comfortable, but don't do it to your eyes. I've met too many people with corneal problems as a result of it.
I can only afford to come to one of your classes because I'm a single mom. Which one would you recommend for me?
You know, I would say the first day would be the best for you, or the third day, the first or the third.
Thank you
Okay.
kindly. I do live here in Marin, so
Try to come tomorrow. Come on.
tomorrow.
Right. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all. I just want to say that we should really be optimistic about what we can do with ourselves. It is work. It's not coming easy, but it's also making us full of life. One person told me you can die once or 1,000 times. I want you to die once. And I heard about a 97-year-old that already put the candles in the synagogue, walked home, lied down, and went to sleep and didn't wake up. That's how we should die, except not at 97, at 107 and up. And what I'm saying is, to be alive means to have motivations to be alive, to get out of depression, to work on ourselves, and to have the impetus to do more and more for us. So with that, I would like to thank you very much. And Kyle, can you run again the video on the 6-day class?
Can you comment what it is you have tomorrow? Because some people are asking, some people might want to participate.
I don't have anything.
No, that was a misunderstanding. Meir asked the last lady to come to more days of the workshop if she could.
I don't have anything tomorrow. I have clients. I mean, I have a lot of great things. I have great clients tomorrow, but I don't have an event. The event is on February 22nd through the 27th. And the nice lady who talked to me wants to come for one day. She can, but I really prefer that she came for the whole time, or at least half of it instead of just one day. But it's so good to come and work every day. As I said, I've taught those classes everywhere in the world, Brazil and Israel and Germany and San Francisco. And again, our success rate is 90%. So please come to the class. Enrollment is allowed. We so far have half of the class. I'm looking forward to fill the other half. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Well, anybody want to stay on for any particular questions? Meir is about to leave. He's still some remnants of them, but any other questions about anything else?